Hello, everyone. Welcome back to, I think this is episode 6. You know what? I actually don't even know. I probably should have checked. But it's either episode 5 or 6 of Blacking Off. That's one thing that I completely forgot to check. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Thank you for joining me again. I'm excited to do this episode because I'm going to do something very differently at the end. It's something I've been kind of wrestling with for a while, and it's a podcast that I've been wanting to start called The Lonely Hearts Club. And I couldn't figure out exactly how I wanted to do it, but this is an idea that I've had since 2017. Yeah, I remember telling people about this late 2017 and people saying this is a really good idea. Essentially, I just wanted to do something like kind of a love line, if you guys know who Dr. Drew is, where people call in, but just not going to be calling, just going to be messages, emails, whatnot, and then just kind of offer tales and wisdom, experience of just love, relationships, and a lot of, and everything in between, because I thought it would be interesting, it would be fun, and most importantly, there are way too many young dudes that are just frustrated. You know, they're considered incels, or people that were going MGTOW, you know, men going their own way, and they were being very bitter towards women, and they thought, oh, all women are the same, all women are this or that, because they had like one bad experience, and it was just really wacky. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it, because anytime I would do some sort of Q&A, especially when Instagram's stories, it became like a really popular thing where you can do Q&As on them, and I'm talking about usually 25% of the messages, without even being prompted, would be like, hey, can I get advice about this? There's this girl that yada yada, and this, so on and so forth. So what I did was I did another Instagram Q&A, but I said I am going to answer these questions in the Lonely Hearts Club segment at the end of the podcast. And I got a ton of submissions, and I'm very excited to do it. So I just wanted to tell you guys about this so you can stick around, or if you're just interested in that, you can skip all the way there. And I'm also kind of haven't made up my mind if I'm going to isolate that as the segment, like a video on itself on the main channel, or should I just put that on the second channel and that just be kind of like a running series on there. I'm not sure. I'm going to make the call as I see it. But enough about that for now. I say let's get into the other subjects, because there's a lot of interesting stuff that has happened. So let's do that first.
In the name of Jesus.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
I execute judgment on you, COVID-19.
Oh, Ramash.
I execute judgment on you, Satan.
We are pushing forward with this quarantine. I don't know how many days it's been, but it has felt like a very long time. A lot of people are starting to get cabin fever. You can see it. I'm seeing people that follow me, they're frustrated, because there's a thing. A lot of people stay home, right? A lot of people do already stay home. They don't do a lot of things, but it's when you can't really go somewhere. That's when you start getting really frustrated, because a lot of times you would just do things subconsciously. I just got to go to the store. I got to get some groceries. I got to do this and that. I'm going to go get something to eat. And then you spend most of the time home when you're not working. And that's pretty much it. Now, hey, it's better for everybody to stay home. It would be much better. And that just kind of eats at you. It's just really annoying. And it kind of distracts from all the different things that you can do. Like, for example, there's a lot of people that follow me that are really into video games. And the thing about people that are gamers, they buy way too many video games. They never have enough time to finish all of them, including myself, especially because the games are always going on sale. So you start swooping them up and you're like, I'll get to them eventually. I probably have close to 100 games that I have not finished, and probably well over 50% of that I haven't even played. It's just, I have too many games. I don't have time to get to them. But the thing is, you kind of do, but you just don't really make that time. And then right now, since the quarantine's going on and a lot of people are kind of stuck at home, a lot of people aren't working and stuff, they have more time to do a lot of these hobbies and other things that they do, but they're just not feeling it. They're not into it. They don't, it feels inorganic, and I think that's the biggest problem. It's like, yeah, I have all these things that could be kind of crushing. Well, not me specifically. When I say that, I was kind of speaking as somebody else, because since I work from home, I can still do what I'm doing, fortunately. But I still do feel all of the people that are all fucking bummed out and stuff. So that kind of sucks. But a lot of people, I've just seen a lot of people not really doing things that they normally would do. And so I feel it, though. I feel it. But I wanted to take this opportunity, though, to kind of just, you guys saw the opening segment, or you heard it, either way, however you're consuming this podcast. And it's so unfortunate how political this pandemic has become. It's been like this from the get-go, obviously. Even when things like, oh, don't call it the Chinese flu or the Chinese virus, or whatever. Somebody said at a Trump press conference, like, oh, somebody in the White House or someone called it Kung Flu, like, and it's like, oh, I just heard that was like shit like that, already trying to make it very political and very like, oh, race is this, race is that, and hey, people don't shy away from Asians and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of silly. This is kind of silly. I'm sure there are some people that actually are being racist, but overall, I think people are being really silly about this. And then the stimulus bill, that was being heavily politicized, extremely partisan. And then, finally it got passed, and I think checks are going to start going out early April. So at least it's something, it's not the best thing. We don't have any ultra badass solutions, but it is what it is. And then the most egregious thing about the corona, and it's that, and this is majorly coming from conservatives, that there's so many of them that are just like, it's not so bad. Why are we shutting the economy down? They didn't shut it down for X, Y, and Z. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. And it kind of just shows you how these people do not have an understanding of what's going on. I don't have a good understanding of what's going on. The thing is, there's people that follow diseases for a living. There's people that are in the health industry that are saying we need to be very, steadfast. We need to, like, we got to do better, and we got to keep the numbers down. We got to practice social distance. Wow, almost had a stroke. Social distancing, like all of this stuff that they're recommending, and they're saying like this could be really bad and numbers are going to rise and a lot of people are going to get this and a lot of people are unfortunately going to perish because of this. But it seems like it's not good enough for some other people. They're like, they want the numbers to be astronomically high for them to actually feel like it is warranted, the shutdown of the economy, essentially. And I think it's just kind of unfortunate, like it's almost like they want more death. Or I feel like, say, hey, maybe it would be a good idea to try to keep the numbers as low as possible. Maybe it is a good thing that, oh, it's not as high as X, Y, and Z or whatever, and you think other people are overreacting. I don't know, man. I feel like, say, if everybody was carrying on like as if nothing happened, then you would probably see those numbers that you would really want to see. I feel like if everybody was still hanging out and still going to shows, still going to the ballpark, and everybody's still rubbing up against each other, like you would get those numbers that you desperately want. And I feel like that's why people are like frustrated. I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of prominent figures, that are conservatives that are really just like, it's not so bad. It's not this, it's not that. And then you have some other people that are just taking the other route, that it's a conspiracy theory, of course. The funny thing was, I was wondering what Alex Jones thought about it. I was like, I wonder what Alex Jones obviously has to have some hot takes on this. But the thing is, Alex Jones isn't on any of the platforms that I normally use. So I'm too lazy. Like, I don't care about going to his website and checking on what he's saying or anything. But one of his clips made it onto Twitter via Nerd City. So shout out to Nerd City, because Alex Jones was saying, you know what? I think I should just insert it here. I think it would be better to just insert the clip instead of me just saying it.
Now, COVID-19, the way the scientists describe it, is it basically eats your testicles and sterilizes you. The virus is designed to eat your testicles. So now we know why it's mainly men.
So yeah, it's eating your testicles, and furthermore, it's a weapon. It's a biological weapon that's supposed to reduce the population. It's about eugenics, people. And I'm like, God damn, like, come on, Alex Jones. I love the memes. I love when you scream. I love when you go crazy, but you got to tone this stuff down. It's like back in the day when I first found out about Alex Jones, I'm like, this guy is great, you know, like just all the wacky stuff that he does and how passionate and just wild he is. But then he would always say something and you're like, come on, man. I can't get behind that. There's certain things you just always say, even to the point where sometimes you would see his best boy, Paul Joseph Watson. Even Paul Joseph Watson sometimes would be like, wow, you like really just said that, didn't you? That you can see it on Paul's face where he's just like, you're clearly just making this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like this is another one of those things with this pandemic that Alex clearly was just making some stuff up. And it's like, bro, you got to relax on this, man. You got to relax on this. But I don't think Alex Jones is harmful as the like, say, some of the religious leaders that are ignoring the orders from the governors of their respected states. They're just like, yeah, let's still have church. Let's still do it. We're going to defeat the corona with prayer. And, you know, I know that's what they believe, that the prayer works and it does all its wonders and everything like that. But there's still the rules. There's still law. And it's like, yo, don't do this. You can still have church, but you got to use some technology. Or why don't you do it, broadcast it? Everyone's got radio. Everyone's got a television, or they got live streaming, whatever. It doesn't have to be physically in person. You know, the thing is, even though I'm non-religious, I know for a fact that it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that you have to congregate in a church to worship God. I know that for a fact. I know that because, yeah, for a large portion of my life, I did consider myself Christian. I did extensively go over the Bible thoroughly. And then especially when I started questioning things more and more and more, I wanted to read more and more and more, which actually made me less and less and less religious, because I'm like, wow, this is pretty interesting. And then it became really obvious to myself that these are a bunch of recycled stories, and there's a lot of things that people kind of just shoved in here, things that got lost in translation. And then it kind of made me question. I'm like, all right, you know, if I were an all-powerful being, would I want people worshiping me in this way, or would I just show my face and give people definitive proof that I'm here and these are the guidelines that you need to rule by? You know what I'm saying? And any other way, maybe I do want to just fuck with the people and I want it to be a test, you know? But what does that say about me? That would probably make me somewhat of a dickhead, wouldn't it? Where it's like, I'm not going to tell these people anything. I'm going to see what happens. And if they mess up, you burn for eternity, bruh. You burn for eternity. And then you got to imagine like, ooh, that's a little punishment don't fit the crime. But I don't mean to go into a whole rant about that. I do digress. But it is just a little bit frustrating that this shit is real, as Cardi B said. And it gets realer when you start seeing people that you know getting infected and some people not doing well. Just kind of like my homie. His sister, I think she was a dental assistant, or she worked either that. She was in something in the medical or dental, something like that. And one of her coworkers, this dude that kind of young, and he was in his 30s. He had asthma and high blood pressure, and he contracted the virus and he died. And so that was kind of like, whoa. Now, I know there's a lot of people that don't have respiratory issues or anything like that will be fine, and probably most people, but there still is a lot of people that do have issues and illnesses, and they're not going to be okay if they get it. And so the whole point is to not spread it, man. It's to as least as possible. You know, like I see a lot of people freaking out about like, hey guys, you're not listening. I don't think that's going to help. But what I do think is going to help, that say government officials that are just like, guys, can we please try to curb this as much as possible? We don't need it to get any worse because you don't think it's a big deal. And that's what usually happens. Like, It's not a lot of these things that happen to other people. It's not a big deal until it slaps us in the face. You know, when you see like Tornado Alley, like tornadoes ripping through all of those states, people that don't live in those areas, it's not a big deal because we're not living through it. We're not the ones that lost their homes. You know, these tornadoes ripping through these places and people's homes are being destroyed. The families, you know, lives being lost. We don't think it's not a big deal because we're not experiencing it. I know I said that, but I'm just trying to say it for emphasis. And it's just I think it's one of those things. I think it's really one of those things where it's like, well, I'm fine. And then like, well, I don't know anyone that has it. Oh, it doesn't seem like a big deal. I just looked up these numbers. It ain't a big deal to me. And then all of a sudden everybody becomes an expert. And I feel like, usually we should trust the experts, and usually we do trust experts. It's the reason why most people, the vast majority of people that drive cars, they're not inspecting them themselves. You know, when they drive off the lot with their cars, are they inspecting all the pieces and stuff like that? Or do they trust the experts that it's safe and operable? That's just one tiny example. Or what about when it comes to food? You know, you're not typically testing your stuff to see if there's E. coli in it or whatever. Usually you trust these companies that everything's sterilized and everything is healthy and you're not going to get extremely sick and die from your food. Every once in a while there are mistakes because there's so much being produced. But overall, things are okay. We trust the experts. But now we're having this pandemic, right? And then all of a sudden the numbers are looking a little bit weird and funny to you. All of a sudden, you don't trust the experts anymore. All of a sudden, you're like, I think I know better than these people that have been studying this shit for 20 or tens of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's silly. Sometimes it's like, you got to think about this. Sometimes you got to like step back and be like, who am I to think I know better than these people that have been studying this shit for their entire lives? These people that went to school for this stuff. Who am I to think I know what's best? And so I think it's one of those things where it's like, when they say try to stay at home, this is pretty bad, and we could curve this and it may not be as bad if we just kind of use a little bit of common sense, and then we can come out with this with the minimal, like, say, amount of damage. And there's other people that are like, it's not that bad, let's just do it. Who gives a fuck? Let's just do it. I don't know, man. I don't know. All the arguments that, like, why don't we, like, do something crazy about car fatalities or, say, heart disease or anything like that, I think is because there's a lot of those things that happen that are just, you know, people making small little errors. And how do you curtail that? Do we restrict everybody from driving and then nobody can eat fast food anymore? No, that's a little crazy. This situation's different because it's a virus and we can't control the virus. It's not like a virus is a human being, right? And we can't tell the virus to stop spreading, or we can't lock it up or put it in prison or whatever. So it's different. And I don't know. It's just something that I kind of wanted to just put out there, you know? And once again, because I know I already talked about it before in the previous podcast, once again, I hope everybody is staying safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember growing up with people with respiratory illnesses and whatnot, and we all know elderly people. So maybe you should just be a little cautious. That's all I'm saying.
I love my girlfriend.
So I made a video called idubbbz versus the internet. And the reason I made it is because, you know, there's not a lot of stuff happening. And this was kind of interesting because of how big the internet is and how much I'm on it. And say idubbbz is definitely a huge part of YouTube. And as me being a YouTuber, this is interesting news to me. Even though, like, say, the circumstances and the stuff that involves it is not that interesting, but just the reactions have been interesting. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, and maybe I should even back up to the people that may not know who idubbbz is, which is probably less than 1% of the people that would listen to this. But idubbbz, YouTuber, been around for years, most famously known for his series Content Cop, where he just goes after YouTubers that make really bad content or at least perceived to him, but I happen to agree with him. It's more like, I would say it's subjectively he would think it's bad, but it's more in the sense that, yeah, this stuff is borderline objective, because a lot of the stuff he would go after is pretty terrible, man. And sometimes it leaves you scratching your head like, who's watching this stuff? But then you remember there's a lot of stupid people in this world. So, of course, a lot of dumb people watch a lot of dumb stuff. You know, like one of the content cops he did was this guy, his name's Jinx or something, and all he would do is react to videos. Now, a lot of people do reactions to where they'll let a piece of a video play and then they'll respond to it, they'll react to it, try to be funny or whatever. That's my favorite thing to do. My favorite thing is to find a silly video and then react to it. That's my favorite thing. And usually you guys really like that too. I think everybody really likes it. But what Jinx would do, for example, he would let the videos play in its entirety, usually in a small little square on the screen, and then would add little to no commentary. A lot of times just sitting there in silence the entire time, maybe a quick little chuckle or something like that, and say idubbbz called that out. He did a content cop on that guy. And, most notably, he got into a lot of controversy or into a kind of big beef with Leafy, a YouTuber named Leafy is here. There's content cop Leafy. There's content cop Drama Alert. There's on Keemstar. Just a lot of stuff, right? So he started getting bigger and bigger and more notoriety, and then a lot of people started really looking up to him as like the king shit. Like he's the edgelord. Like, I love idubbbz. He's the guy that doesn't take any shit or anything. Anything that's like weird on the internet or something, he'll usually call it out, and then everyone typically agrees with him. But except for this one time, a lot of people they found out that idubbbz is a character, and then there's a man that exists through idubbbz. His name is Ian. Ian is the real guy, and then they got a taste of him through a video that was released just a few days ago, where idubbbz talks about, sex workers. And the reason he talks about sex workers is because his girlfriend, Anissa, she started an OnlyFans. And an OnlyFans is just, hey, a website where you can just put up anything from mild nudes to just full-on nudes or videos or whatever, porn, and people can pay for it. Just a subscription service. Very simple concept. I guess it's a way for a lot of these creators to take back like how they weren't really making money, because all of these free porn sites, they all upload their stuff for free and then they're just losing out on money. And so a lot of people think the concept of OnlyFans or anything like, why would anybody pay for it when it's all free? But I feel like there's a lot of people that just want to support these women, typically women. So I don't know. Doesn't really matter. So anyway, so in the video, I talked about it a little bit, right? In the video, I talked about it saying that there was 3 types of people that were mad at idubbbz in this whole situation when idubbbz made a response to all the people that were talking shit about his girlfriend, Anissa, starting OnlyFans. There's the conservatives that hate porn and anything that's related to sex work. They think it's all degeneracy. So I was like, all right, yeah, those people are going to be mad. There's nothing you can do about that. You just gotta, that's just gonna remain there. And then there was the people, and I said this was probably the most important point, is that there was a lot of people that just do not like his girlfriend, Anissa. There are so many videos online that exist of just like exposing her for all this stuff, and I genuinely believe that that's the crux of most people's issues, because I feel like, say, if she was perceived to be ultra lovely and everyone loved her and there wasn't this weird backlash, from all these people that just, all these people that just hate her, I feel like there wouldn't be such a thing to criticize idubbbz for, because there's so many women out there that do things like OnlyFans and sex work, and they're all famous, and then they're dating famous dudes and whatever, and nobody's saying anything to them. So, and I noticed in the comment section of idubbbz's response video that there was a lot of guys that were saying they're very concerned, and they were saying like, I don't like this, man. I think she's using you. This, all of this type of talk. And to me, that kind of just proves my point, that a lot of these people don't like her, and then they say they're concerned, and then that also lends to my thing of the other point of people that when I said there's 3 types of people that were mad at idubbbz, and the third one was people that can't really separate in real life from the internet. And so there's a lot of these people that are concerned about idubbbz, and it's like, hey guys, idubbbz is a character. Ian is dating this girl Anissa, and Ian loves Anissa, and apparently they get along well enough. They've been together for years. So, how could you be so worried about them? I don't know them personally, like I said in the video. No one really knows them personally, like especially all the millions of people that were watching his videos and all the tens of thousands of people that were really angry. And so it's like, it's kind of weird to say you're concerned when idubbbz himself isn't expressing concern, like he's not like I'm troubled or I'm stressed or something. So it's kind of like, what are you concerned about? You know what I'm saying? Like, so if there's some people that know him personally and know things behind the scenes that like he's very troubled and then all this is a front and he's actually just, you know what I'm saying? Like he's projecting, then you have, there you go. Then then you have every right to say that because you have the inside scoop that we all don't. So other than that, man, it's just been like a weird shit show. And I just kind of wanted to bring some of this stuff up because I started seeing other people having their takes. I started to look and see what other people were saying. And to be honest, I think most people somewhat agree with me. And I think most people do realize that the backlash is way too overblown. Like, it was weird. Like, I think he lost like 20 or 30,000 subs in the first day he uploaded that video, which is crazy because with a lot of other things, a lot of other controversies that went on, you hardly see stuff like that. You see things from that like what was it, the beauty community when James Charles was accused of being a predator. A lot of us were fed bad information. YouTubers were, I forget her name, was like Tati something. She's another makeup person, and accused James Charles of like, oh, he's this, he's that. And then the other guy, Jeffree Star, the other makeup dude, I think he like jumped in, was talking some shit too. And then James Charles, I think, lost like millions of subs or something like that. But I think they're all back now or something. But it's like, that's all that stupid drama bullshit. And this thing right here is so much lesser because at least in that situation with the James Charles thing, it was like, oh, James Charles is a sexual predator. Like, that's some serious charges there. That's what, there was some serious allegations. idubbbz is okay with his girlfriend showing partially nude photos on the internet. Milquetoast, man. Like, that is the weakest stuff to me ever. And one thing that I can't stand about conservatives is that they always want to be in other people's business. Like, I understand if there's something that is directly affecting you and then maybe you want to speak out and say something, but some guy that is doing some sexual stuff, partner stuff, why do you care? Like, I always wonder that stuff. Like, if somebody was in a polyamorous relationship or something, and then somebody say, you're a degenerate, you're this, you're that, you shouldn't be doing this, and it's like, sir, why do you care? How does this affect you in any way, shape, or form? Are you going to be tossing and turning at night? Are you going to be like, oh my, I can't believe they're doing this. What, like, I can't, I'm having cold sweats. I feel like you're not going to think about it. So why are you thinking about it now? And I mean, that's just how I feel. Like, when most people are doing stuff, I'm not thinking about them. And it always comes down to, like, you guys think you're very special, don't you? Like, I don't know, man. We talk about there's 7 billion people on this planet now, right? It's just, you're not that special. I'm not that special. idubbbz isn't that special. Behind closed doors, he's probably a normal fucking guy. Probably has some weird kinks that I don't give two shits about. Doesn't go through my head ever. So now that this thing's happening, you know, people are going to talk about it, obviously, because it is news. But ultimately, people are going to forget about it in a few days. Because they're going to also realize, the people that are even angry, that I'm like, why am I angry? like did I, do what? So I think it's going to come down to that. And now, the last angle that I wanted to examine, is that there's a lot of people that were saying that this is all like, I guess there's two different angles, that this is all like a work, like idubbbz is building towards something, and then he's gonna, you know, like surprise us with some master plan. And the reason why I think a lot of people think something like that is because idubbbz has come out with these elaborate schemes that he's done, and they've gone over so insanely well. So it seems so out of his character to like put out a video that technically did not need to exist at all. He did not need to he didn't need to explain this situation. He didn't need to address the haters or whatever, the people that were so disappointed. There really wasn't a reason to talk down to the people that were giving him shit or whatever. So it seemed kind of weird, because that's a lot of people are like, why did he make this video, man? All it did was just kind of like make the situation much worse. So some people are saying, oh, he's probably going to do something really interesting with this, and we're all going to find out, and we're all going to be fooled, and we're going to be like, he's still a genius and he's still on top of his game. I don't know. Now, the other thing is, maybe not that he's going to do something really interesting or special. The other side of it, some people are saying that he is just capitalizing off of this. Like, say, you know, there's no such thing as bad publicity technically. And look at with this video, I'm assuming that Anissa has gotten much more support on OnlyFans. There's probably a lot of other people that signed up too because of this. There was already, I think she had a couple of thousand before the video came out. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money, whatever, because usually people on there are charging like anywhere from like $5 to $10 to $20 or whatever the fuck. So I don't know what the hell she's charging, but I'm assuming that she's probably charging like something in the double digits, and then you times that by a couple thousand. That's a lot of fucking money. So jokes on a lot of these motherfuckers that are all pissing and moaning. So could be an opportunity to capitalize and boost her up a little bit more. Who knows? What do I think? I'm not so sure, because I said, like, I don't know the guy. I said in my video that I've interacted with him like once or twice. He featured in one of my YouTube videos, and I said like I was very grateful for that. It was pretty dope. But I don't know the guy, so I can't even begin to speculate and be like, oh, I wonder what his angle is, because maybe the video was just real, and he's just like, I love my girlfriend, and I'm gonna defend her because you guys are being really shitty towards her. So that could be the case. However, I would think that, like I said before, that she has such a negative image on online. Like if you search her name, there's just all these videos of people trashing her. And let me just say that a lot of the stuff that people are trashing her about, very mundane stuff. Remember I say like a lot of people have a hard time separating the internet from in real life, like reality. And in real life, a lot of people do a lot of scummy things. There's a lot of people that go to jail and they go to prison for doing really messed up stuff. They beat people up. They steal people's stuff. Sometimes people even kill people, whatever. A lot of times they come out on the other side. Sometimes they're converted. They're very good Christian people or whatever religion. And all of a sudden they repented, and society has given them another chance. And they're good. And so it could be one of those situations to where like these people think that, oh, this stuff like, oh, she's talked shit about this person. She said this. She said a really dumb comment about the Holocaust, which was one of the things that I was hearing about. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Like, should she be burned? I don't understand. Like, and I know idubbbz kind of made a point like that. Like, well, what should I do? Should I take like a shotgun to her head or something, kind of going like overboard because how some people were reacting towards the situation. And so that's kind of how I see it, you know, like, let me just give a little example, somewhat of an anecdote, is that my friend's brother, He went to jail for, I think, 11 years for attempted murder. And I only met him when he got out of jail, when he got out of prison, sorry. And when he got out of prison, you never would have known that this guy was a felon. He was just the nicest and most respectable dude. I really liked the guy. We got him a job. Me and my boy, we used to work at this 7-Eleven distribution center like back in 07 or something. And he got a job with us, and this dude rose through the ranks so quickly. And you wouldn't have known that he was just, oh, this guy attempted to kill somebody. He probably tried, and in fact, I didn't know the story, didn't even ask him. I just knew what he was charged for because he was very forthcoming about that. My whole thing is that here's a guy that has paid his debt to society and was now released, and then he became a very upstanding citizen and got a great job and rose through the ranks and everything. So when I'm in reality, I'm like, what did she do exactly that deserves, like, that has made her a pariah? Nothing really. And so I feel like it's the internet bullshit, right? And so you can leave the internet bullshit where it belongs, on the internet. And here's the thing, idubbbz is a part of the internet. Ian is in real life, and Ian is dating Anissa. Obviously, Ian is cool with her. She hasn't done some crazy shit, not that I know of. You know, maybe she does murder people. Maybe there's a body count, and there's skeletons in their basement, and Ian hasn't figured it out yet. And there's like, what's this smell? And she's like, I don't know, like, just whatever. Like, I just don't think about it. You know, maybe there's a scenario like that. Then I would say, everybody that's been talking shit, you are 100% validated. But I obviously don't think that's the case. Obviously, just having a little fun here. But so I did overall, even though the whole backlash and everything was silly, I still found this really interesting because I'm a part of YouTube. I'm a YouTuber, and when one of the bigger YouTubers has an interesting story, it definitely prompts me to talk about it. Hell, even PewDiePie talked about it. PewDiePie is definitely like one of the biggest individuals on the platform. Obviously, the biggest individual with the most numbers. So it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, it's a big deal. So if you're wondering why, it's like, well, I don't understand why this is a big deal. Now you know.
I'm Chris Hansen.
On my second channel, Black Chad, I said that I was not going to talk about Onision. And I laid out some reasons. And the reasons were essentially, I just wasn't interested. The stories and everything and allegations, everything didn't seem interesting to me. And I basically said in a nutshell that if there is some damning evidence, then he's going to go to jail or whatever. It'll be handled. But now I know that this stuff has been going on for so long, I didn't even realize how long it's been. It's been months. It's probably been like at least half a year of all this stuff has been happening. And Chris Hansen has been involved in trying to take down Onision. And then it's starting to look like that nothing is happening. And another thing is that a lot of people recognize that Onision, he even says himself that he's a scumbag. He's very mean and he's very weird. Everybody knows that. Probably not a very good person. He admits it himself. But as far as all the charges, all the predatory charges that he's getting, probably not true. And the thing is, there's a community of people called the anti-O, so they're anti-Onision. They get so angry and they attack everybody that tries to say, I don't really think this stuff is panning out, the stuff that everybody's saying about Onision. They'll go relentless, they'll go crazy. And then people that have been talking shit about Chris Hansen, and there's been a lot of people, and this is when it piqued my interest because I've always loved Chris Hansen as an entertainer. I love To Catch a Predator. I remember in this previous segment, I was just talking about, I worked at a 7-Eleven distribution center in 07. And around that time when I had my apartment, my roommate and I would be watching episodes in different rooms. Like, bro, are you watching To Catch a Predator? We're just laughing our asses off. Then when a lot of stuff was available online, we just go through it. And then the series kind of came back again, but it was called Hansen versus Predator. And I remember watching that shit back in 2017, and I'm thinking, why is nobody watching this? This is the greatest shit ever. And then like a year or two later, boom, it blew up. I'm talking tens of millions of views. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. People know what's up. But it just took them a while to get onto it. And so I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. Chris Hansen's involved. So there's probably some shit that's really going to go down. And to be honest, I didn't know much about the situation because I just didn't care enough. I really didn't care. Like I said, justice will be served. If justice will be served, I think there's enough people involved. I think that if there's some charges, something's got to stick, right? It wasn't until very, very recent, just like a couple of nights ago, I saw like just a bunch of buzzing on Twitter. Like Chris Hansen was supposed to have an interview with Onision, and then it got canceled. I guess Chris Hansen canceled the interview. He was saying like, oh, he was making excuses essentially. First, he was like, I can't live stream it. It has to be pre-recorded, whatever, which would have been fine for Onision. And then he just at the last second saying, no, I don't think this is right. He just made excuses, and a lot of people were like, okay, what the hell is going on? Because you specifically flew to Onision's house, because I remember this for sure, because I think we talked about it briefly on the Snark Take podcast. One of the episodes, we briefly discussed this, and Chris Hansen flew to Onision's house, knocked on his front door, tried to get him to come out and talk. So you went from doing that extreme thing to where now you won't even live stream with the guy? Something's up. And that's when my ears started perking up. I'm like, what is up? And then I watch a live stream called Shot from the Point. And it's run by this guy named Tommy C. And he took a piece of this interview Onision was on. He got interviewed by this guy. I forgot. He's like a big journalist, like a prominent one or something. One of the old head kind of respectable journalists, but I say in quotations because a lot of those people nowadays are trash and they try to shit on YouTubers that are doing a better job because they're fucking jealous. They're making more money than usually a lot of their company makes combined or something like that. But there was a piece of that just seemed really odd. And then Onision went on this stream called the Kill Stream, which is a stream that a lot of people do not mess with because they have a lot of unfavorable guests on there. But the Onision, he went through some of the clips, and this was the first time I've ever heard Onision talk about his situation and all this stuff, and there were certain explanations to some of the allegations, and it was kind of like he had explanations and he had like a timeline of stuff that he was talking about, and I was just scratching my head that I'm like, well, all right, this is what he says. Now, where is the proof that he's a predator or something? And essentially, all those people in the chat and all those people that were a part of the live streams, they're all saying the same basic thing. Like, it just seems like there's no evidence. It seems like a lot of people are just saying a lot of stuff and it's all a bunch of hot air. And I'm just like, wait, this thing's been going on for this long? And there's like no, like, it's just like he said, she said stuff? I was like, Chris Hansen's involved from that? And it just kind of blew my mind because I thought like, oh, he's definitely in trouble now. Like when I heard Chris Hansen's involved, I guess probably everybody thought about that. But it just turned into a really weird situation to where now I'm seeing people talk mad shit about Chris Hansen. And I'm like, what is happening? This year has been so insane. And I guess one thing that I found out too was that Chris Hansen was talking up some coronavirus like cure type of thing. It was really strange. I didn't get the entire gist of it, but I heard about it through those live streams. And I'm just like, what do you mean? What is he doing? Like, I thought this guy was the guy that was just catching predators or something, and then he's doing some. And I heard that it was like what would you call it? Like a promotional thing. And so it's just like he probably got paid a lot of money to do that. And it's like, dude, this is crazy. This is such a weird situation that I didn't think anything was gonna happen, right? But I heard stuff like Onision's daughter, I think, fell out of his window, second story window or something. She got badly injured, but Child Protective Services and the police, they investigated and said there was no wrongdoing. It was just an accident. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, well, I mean, it kind of reminds me of what I was saying in the coronavirus segment, that you have a lot of people that they're offering their own hot takes, essentially overriding professionals and experts. Like, you have the professionals and experts that are coming to these conclusions. They thoroughly investigated some stuff, and then other people are saying, no, they're wrong. And that's what I'm like, is that this is what's been going on? Like, I'm like taken back that there was such a huge swell, because I assumed that there was some like hardcore evidence or something that was going down. I think most people that aren't really invested in this probably thought the same thing. But now that I have a little bit of a gist and a little bit of taste of what's happening, I'm like, this guy's not going to jail. Like, I don't think this guy's like, and then when I learned more about, like, say, some of the people that were, that he was involved, the relationship stuff, like, he dates these insane people, and then they just make up crazy shit. And it's like, unfortunately, these people are not credible at all. Like, there's this, I learned that there was Onision dated somebody named Shiloh. Now, I don't really know exactly what happened with Shiloh, but I think I remember that that's the same person that, because I remember years ago seeing that Onision was like filming someone having like a mental breakdown or something like that, and it just seems so disturbing. And so, like, what in the fuck is happening? Like, what a crazy person. Now, I think this is the same person, that there's a YouTuber that was like inquiring about everything that was going on. And then all of a sudden, that person, Shiloh, was accusing that YouTuber of being like a predator as well. No proof, but just saying this stuff, and then getting the whole anti-Onision community to come down on this guy and try to get him taking off of Twitter and everything. It became like a huge thing where it's like, this is a huge shit show. I didn't know anything about this until just like a couple of days ago. It's I gotta be honest, this is a little bit more interesting than the narrative that, Onision's some child diddler and he needs to go to prison, because I thought that was, from hearing that shit, I thought that was kind of open and shut. To be honest, I thought that was kind of like, he's gonna get his. The dude's gotta go to jail. He's gotta go to prison. He's gonna get his. I think that any casual person that was kind of watching from the sidelines a little bit, hearing anything, we thought the same thing. But now that I peeked my head in just a little bit, I'm like, wait, what is all this? All these live streams and all these videos and people making 2 billion videos about this guy. And I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, this fucking idiot Onision is just a massive troll, and he's not interesting to me. That's why I said I wasn't gonna make videos about him, because I thought, okay, there's a case against him. He's probably gonna get his. Anything else is just a bunch of bullshit. Like when he freaked out and started pouring kombucha on himself. Why were people? He's clearly fucking around, and it was hilarious. It was funny, like, even though it's a joke, it was still funny. Like, because of the dumb shit, because it's still, usually people that like to troll do not subject themselves to that. It kind of reminds me of, if I remember correctly, I think there was this guy that couldn't play World of Warcraft, or this kid or something. And then he had a freak out, right? Like, my brother freaks out in his room. He's freaking out. I think he has only his boxers on, or he like takes off his clothes to wear his boxers. I don't remember the video specifically, but what I remember is at one part, the TV controller is on his bed, and he takes the controller and like shoves it in his ass like real quick, but the boxers are still on. So he's just kind of like quickly like pretending to penetrate himself. And the freak out is hilarious. But you also find out that it was a troll. It's a hoax. Like he did that but it's still funny. Even knowing that it's not real, it's still funny. If you go back and look at it, it's still funny, because it's like, I can't believe he would subject himself to something like that. And I think that was the reason why those Onision freaking out is kind of funny too. And it's just like, I don't know, man. This has been one of those things that, like, I'm I'm now wondering how this shit has gone on for this long. Because I look, man, at this point, all I can say is that if there is something on Onision, if there is some legitimate dirt, I mean, I would be so fucking surprised. Because I would be so surprised just from like hearing the stories of what his side versus what some other people were saying about him. I was like, I can't believe this, but what Onision's saying is much more plausible than the fucking accusations. Isn't that sad? Isn't that a fucked up thing to say? But it's real. And I imagine a lot of you people that are listening to this right now or watching this, you're probably in the same camp as me where you don't really know all the specs and details about that shit. And then there's all the other people that have been watching all of the reaction videos to him, all of the stuff dunking on him, all of the people that have come out and said all these horrible things. God damn it, I got something in my eye. I'm just going to still continue to talk. But all the people that were saying all this stuff negative about him, they're watching all these videos, and I don't think they one time ever listened to Onision's side of the story. And I think that's obviously one of the worst things you can do, because it's been this whole mob mentality thing, and there hasn't been like, well, what does he say happened? And it's to the point where people hate Onision so much, it's not like they would really listen to him anyway, because I'm assuming he's come out with videos defending himself. I'm assuming on his channel that shit exists. And I'm also assuming there probably isn't very many people that have talked about those videos, because that shit ain't interesting. And then the mob, the anti-O groups, they're going to come down hard on you. Essentially, that's what Tommy from Shot for the Point was saying, that they came down hard on this motherfucker. And so it's a really weird situation. And like I said, I'd be surprised if this dude got convicted of anything, because it's looking like it's just a bunch of bullshit and hot air. It just looks like Onision's an asshole. He's a polyamorous dickhead. I mean, like, I don't have a problem with polyamory, but he just seems to go about things really stupid, and he invites really fucked up people into his home. The biggest thing that people are trying to get him for is saying that, this girl named Sarah was brought into the house when she was 16. She escaped a broken home, an abusive mother, like an abusive mother. And after she turned 18 and a half or whatever, they hooked up. Like, maybe that's weird and wrong, because maybe it was like what do you call it? You're kind of like a parental figure or something, even though he claims he was a piece of shit to her all the time, and he never portrayed himself as like a father figure or something. I don't know. Wasn't there. Don't give a fuck. But the thing that's important is that they smashed after she was legal. I mean, that's not like, what could you say to that? That's not like, you may not like that. You may think that like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. Why would you do something like that? Yeah, I get you coming down on him and shaming him. I get that. We ain't going to fucking jail for that shit. It ain't illegal. Like, I don't know what these people want. Like, I can't believe that's what I just found out just a couple of days ago. I can't believe that, like, that's the full story now that, like, I don't know, man. I feel like, say, when I talked about it on the Snark Tank, wow, I can't even say my own podcast, the Snark Tank podcast, if I only would have known all of this other information, I definitely would have said something. I didn't know shit, man. And I feel like nobody else does either. Hey, welcome to the very first installment of the Lonely Hearts Club. I'm so excited to do this, man, because I've been wanting to do this for the longest time. Had this idea since 2017, didn't know exactly how to flesh it out. I was thinking, hey, maybe I should get a partner. Maybe I should get a lady partner so I can have that female perspective so we can bounce ideas off each other, which I still think is somewhat of a good idea. But we're not in that position to do that. And I thought it would be just much better to just start this off as a segment within my Blacking Off podcast and then just kind of isolate this and maybe it'll grow into its own thing. But so I started off with getting the questions from the Q&As on the Instagram. And if you want to contribute, I would say just follow me at somebg, so SOME, the letters B and G. And when I do these Q&As, I'll just be like, yo, what's up? Shoot me some questions. And I have a lot of questions. And the reason why I knew this would be a good idea is because anytime I would do an Instagram Q&A, I would say about a quarter of the questions were from dude bros, usually young dudes just wanting advice about dating and whatnot, especially because they've seen some of the women that I've dated. And I think they look at me and they're like, all right, yeah, dude in your 30s, you probably have like some dating experience. Like, tell me about your experiences. Give me some advice about some stuff. And I think I have a lot to offer. Now, I can't give you great advice about super love and long lasting shit because I'm single as hell. But like, you know, I've had a very long road, half of my life of lots of dating and lots of other encounters and stuff. So let's get into this first one. By the way, we're gonna keep this anonymous. Maybe at some point, if you guys are okay with usernames being dropped, or if you just want to say once you ask your question, just drop your first name so then I can address you as such. But for now, I kind of don't want to do that. I some people might be embarrassed or whatever, even though these questions are pretty tame and chill. But this first one, so we got a dude bro here, or a guy that wants to be a dude bro. How does one become a Chad after having a really bad reputation? Well, I guess it really depends on what you've done. You know, why do you have a bad reputation? What exactly did you do? Did you do something illegal? Did you do something that is like really detestable and people don't want to talk to you or be around you? Or like, what was it exactly? Because if it's something mild, you can always turn that around. And a lot of times turning things around is it's as simple as just addressing the people that you've wronged or the people that see you in a bad light. Kind of show them who the fuck you are. Show them that you're not that person that they think you are. And if you are that person, there's probably nothing you're going to be able to do to turn it around. You know, if you're a piece of shit and you continue to be a piece of shit, then you can't be a Chad, right? And so essentially, if you want to be a Chad, man, just be a decent human being. If you've wronged anybody or whatever, talk to them like a regular person. Find out what's up, man. Sometimes it's very important for people to respect you, to be totally honest about them, and be open about that shit, and to apologize if you've done something wrong. And people usually respect that shit, man. And so I would say start with that before thinking about becoming a Chad. First, just become favorable. We got a good one from this lady right here. So she says, why can't guys take hints? Why do I always gotta ask them out, yo? Well, you see, hints are very subjective. Like, say to you, you may think that you're dropping hints, and then to the guy, he may not see anything. And this is including myself, because I remember this girl that, you know, I still know her. We're still cool. But back in high school, she had a thing for me, and I had no idea. And look, I'm pretty good at figuring out if somebody likes me or not, or if there's anything, if there's blushing going on, or one of the things that, especially when it comes to in real life, right? One of the things that you can always see is like if you're really close to somebody, a lot of times if you're digging them, if you like them, you'll stare at their lips a lot, you know, because you're usually thinking about, man, I want to kiss those. Like that's one of the easiest telltale signs to like them lips. If that shit's going on, I see it all the fucking time. All the time. This is one of the biggest telltale signs where it's like the staring at the lips. He or she, it doesn't fucking matter. Everybody does that shit because you're like just thinking about like, oh man, I want to kiss those things. And sometimes it's very good to be obvious about that stuff because it sends that signal like, oh yeah, you know, there's something here. Obviously a little bit of body language, a little bit of touching on the shoulder or hand or whatever like that. It's a little bit different if it's on the internet. I would say you need to be a lot more direct if it's just flirting on the internet because sometimes it's not super obvious. Sometimes even people can think, oh, you're flirting, but you're still joking. Ha ha ha. Sometimes you got to be like reinforce that. No, like this is some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes I think it's a good idea to review your hints with your peers, with your lady friends. Be like, if I did this, would you automatically know that I'm interested? Like, run those things and run those scenarios over to people and see that and make sure that you're actually seeming like you're interested, because I'm telling you, it's happened to me. This is the good question, man. My ex did me hella dirty and broke my heart. I want to get back into the dating scene, but I'm terrified. Bro, I know the feeling, man. I think a lot of people here know the feeling, people that have been in the dating scene. The thing is, you're scared. That is totally normal, but honestly, there's nothing you can do about that. What I mean is, you're still going to have to take chances. There's no way around it, because you're never going to know 100% for sure if things are going to be okay in the very beginning or anything like that. You have to just kind of go for it, you know? And this is one thing that I can definitely promise you, is that it gets easier. Let's just say that the next girl you do date, what if that's it? What if you marry her? Cool. If things don't work out, I promise you it will not hurt as bad as the other one. I promise you that. So that's one thing that I can give you comfort about. When you do shoot your shot again, you know, if you get rejected or if things, something happens, you get the rug pulled from under you, it's not going to be as bad as the first one. You know, your heart hardens, your brain and your heart work together. Those neurons start firing back and forth and are like, yo, fuck that bitch. This is an interesting question. Not relationship stuff, but any girl I talk to instantly thinks I'm trying to fuck, even though I'm not. Help? See, this makes me wonder what you're saying to these women. And this makes me think, like, are you using like winky emojis and shit? Are you like using things that seem kind of overtly sexual? I'm really curious about that, because that shouldn't be the case. If you're talking to a girl like a normal human being, like you would talk to one of your friends, like just like, you know, like one of your dude bros. Like, and I don't mean like say in a way that you're saying some gross shit, but just in the way that you would talk to them like a human. There should be no reason that they would think that you're trying to bang them right off the bat. You know, if you're just talking normal. But if you're like, say, compliments after compliments and this and that, then obviously they're going to be like, this guy's trying to get my pants. What's up? So, I mean, really, you got to kind of think about what type of stuff you're writing, what type of stuff you're saying, because I'm just saying, man, it shouldn't be like that. 2 days ago, my girlfriend of 1 year broke up with me. How do I avoid getting really depressed about it? Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I know the feeling. And to be honest, you're not going to avoid the feeling. The only thing you really can do is to just be as busy as possible. Just always do stuff, man. I mean, you're at home. I don't know if you're quarantining and all that stuff, or if you're one of the people that are still working or whatever you're doing. I don't know how old you are, but you got to occupy your time. That's the best thing you can do, because if you're sitting, not doing anything, it can consume you. And the thing is, I know it's easier said than done, because when you are depressed, when something like this happens, it's much harder to do something. And it's going to be even a little bit harder, because I would suggest like being around loved ones. But right now the quarantine stuff's going on. So, you know, you probably can't hang out with the homies or whatever. But if you play video games, whatever, I'm saying do it much harder. There's a term called fake it till you make it. And this is something that I didn't really know what was a thing until like I started listening to other people that deal with like chronic depression and stuff. That there's a lot of people that have to like force themselves to do certain things. And then at a certain point, sometimes a switch goes off and they actually feel good now. That's what they call it, fake it till you make it. Like kind of fake being happy, fake being busy, whatever. And then at a certain point, usually you kind of just get into the groove and then you're okay. And so you will get over this. It takes a while. But as they say too, another cliche bullshit is time heals all wounds. Really does, man. You know, people get over death, which is like the worst thing that can usually happen. So a breakup, it's pretty bad. It's not as bad as death though, but we all persevere. We got another question from a lady. She says, do you think poly relationships can work? I recently just got out of one and I don't know if I should try again. I think this is one of those questions that really the only way to answer it is if you are polyamorous, you would say yes. And if you are monogamous, you would say no. And I happen to be a monogamous guy. I'm all about that sweet monogamy. So the idea of a polyamorous relationship is kind of crazy to me. You know, this is my opinion. I just personally don't think they work. I just don't. I think there's always jealousy involved. There's always like a lot of turmoil, and I think there's always, you know, exceptions to the rule. Just like some statistics don't mean shit to the individual. There are some people that make that stuff work very well, but I usually just kind of question, how much do you love each other really if you're inviting a bunch of other people into your bedroom or you're sharing partners and stuff? I feel like, well, it doesn't seem like a very like love thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, say, if that person if they died or something, you'd be really sad, but you have somebody else, very easy to move on. Where I feel like, say, when you really, really, really love somebody, it takes a while to really move on. You got to really think about things, and you kind of have to get your shit together, and then, you know, eventually you're okay. Now, you know, like, that's just me speaking from my point of view. I can't really say anything. Like, say there's probably somebody that's poly that would completely disagree with me. You know, I remember I was talking to this YouTuber who she's in an open relationship. She's kind of poly. And I was kind of like even thinking about it. I was like, can I even like comfortably hook up with this girl knowing that she has some other dude, bro? You know, even he claims he's fine with it, but I'm like, is he really? I don't know. It never went anywhere. It never happened, but it was just kind of interesting that like there was a little bit of flirtation there, because I mean, she's like insanely gorgeous. So it was kind of like, ooh, but I just ultimately, I just don't know if I could do it. And should you try it? I mean, that's not anything that I can answer for you. I mean, if you genuinely think that's something that you like if that's something that like, that's like in the forefront of your mind, then I would say, well, follow the thing that's really going for you. But if you're somebody that's like, say, like you've been in a monogamous relationship before and that worked better, then it's kind of like, what are you doing? Are you just having for like, well, what do you do? Are you like are you afraid of being hurt again? So you just want to be in this polyamorous thing that's not that serious? Or I don't know. It's something that you're going to have to think about it. You're going to have to come to your own conclusion. Cause I don't have enough experience in that avenue, but, really just kind of trust your instincts, right? This is another interesting one. It says, is it okay to keep my asexuality hidden from my girlfriend? That's really interesting. I personally don't even know how you can hide something like that, because I would say 99.9% of relationships require intimacy. So I don't know exactly what you're telling your girlfriend to, you know, for you to not be like sexually active or intimate with her or something like that. I really do believe that if you are in a relationship with somebody, you should be very forthcoming and very, especially about something like that. I don't think that's something that you should really hide from somebody that you claim to like care about and you want to be in a relationship with. I know a situation like that might be very difficult to unearth or something, but I also wonder, does she like want a physical relationship? Does she want to like, you know, possibly grow, like take things to the next level and then have kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say if she's okay with it, then great for you. But if she's not, you know, I think like, I'm using a lot of cliches. It's like the whole like, if you love them, set them free type of thing. And what that really means, because a lot of people don't understand that quote, where it's like, if you love someone, you got to let them go, you got to set them free. A lot of people are like, well, no, if I love them, I want to keep them. But no, what it really means is like, if you truly care about somebody's well-being, and it's not about you, you got to be selfless, and you got to let them go, and because you love them that much. And that's something that's very difficult to come to terms with, because, you know, if you really love somebody, a lot of times you just like, you always want them by your side or whatever the fuck. You really enjoy their company. But if you know that there's something that could specifically break you up or poison the relationship, or you think that they'd be better off, it's kind of like one of those things where you've seen scenarios. It's like, oh, I just got a job in this city or in this state, so I got to move. And it's kind of like, would it be better for them, your significant other, to move with you? or would it be the better for them to stay there because they got this great career, and then it would be tough for them to move? So you have to make that decision where it's like, damn, how much do I love this person? It's like, obviously I want them with me, but I'm possibly going to be ruining their lives if I kind of make them move with me. So you got to make that hard decision. So I think just kind of using that as an example. So I would say just have that hard talk and see what happens. I've had a few questions about the quarantine, things like, oh, the quarantine's separating me from seeing my significant other. Here's another one. This one from a lady. My boyfriend and I haven't seen each other in 2 weeks. What can we do to keep things spicy? There's probably like 4 or 5 questions that are very similar to that. And I think it's to somebody that's been in a long distance relationship, been a few of them actually, that it really just comes down to having a good internet connection. And I don't know how comfortable you are with that shit, because some people aren't into, like, say, being intimate via Skype, or it was Skype. You can use fucking anything now. You can FaceTime with your fucking iPhone or something like that. But being intimate in that way, you know what I mean? There's people that do shit like that. I think that's a pretty viable thing. Obviously, it's something that people have been doing for a long time. People that deploy and all that type of shit, and they're gone for a long time. So I think there's things like that you can do. But I think the most important thing is to talk amongst yourselves about it, so you guys know exactly what you guys like, what you guys are into, what you guys are okay with. I think that's so fucking important, man. So many people don't talk to each other, and they don't know their fucking partners. They're with people for so long, and they don't know shit about them. They just like make assumptions, and then they find out fucking how many months later that, oh, I had no idea you were unhappy, or I had no idea that I wasn't doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't get to that point. So when you get to these hard times, we have to be quarantined, have to be away from each other, find out that shit that you guys are fucking really cool with. Find out each other's sexual appetite, how much you guys really like being intimate. Do you guys like being intimate enough to where you can do all that cyber shit? Figure it out. This is a really interesting question because I have experience with this. Says, she used me to cheat on her boyfriend in Marine boot camp. Do I put her out there or... Now, this is interesting, man, because I found out that there was a girl, and man, she had a lot of good parts, man. Her boyfriend was in the army and deployed. And I had no idea. Like, I literally no idea. Because if I had an idea, I would never do somebody dirty like that. I knew of the guy, but I didn't know him. But I still wouldn't do that because, like, I'm not one of those all fair and love and war people. So if I was conscious about that, I would be like, no, like, get away from me, broad. What are you doing? But of course, I found out later, and I found out because they eventually they got married, and I saw that, like, they've been together for a while. Like, I saw like some shit like way later on like Facebook or something. I was like, oh shit. And I was like, and the thing is, if I didn't know the guy very well, and I was like, I'm just gonna shut the fuck up. So I don't know if that was the best thing to do, but all I know is that they're not together anymore. So I kind of came to the conclusion that there was always going to be some problems. So I really didn't need to say anything. In hindsight, I'm old enough to where now I feel like I probably would have said something, because now I think of it from an empathetic way, if that's how you say it, where if that happened to me, wouldn't I want somebody to tell me that my significant other is cheating on me with some other fucking dude? I would be very grateful if someone told me that shit. So in hindsight, I would have probably fucking outed her. And I obviously am not telling you to do it. I'm just kind of coming from the angle that I kind of see it as. And it really just depends, man. Like, I remember, I forgot which podcast I was listening to, but it was Bill Burr's Monday morning podcast. And a guy found out, fuck, man, like, it was like 10 or 11 years later that his spouse, his wife, cheated on him the night before they were getting married. Like, they had their hotel and stuff, and then the bartender. She banged the bartender in the bed that they both slept in to consummate the marriage. And she found out way later. And it's one of those things where it's like, damn, man, that guy, I bet that guy wish he would have known right away. Probably wouldn't have fucking married her. Tore him the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where stings less the sooner you know. And I didn't tell the guy. I don't know what happened, but knowing what I know now, I definitely would have said something. So, take that for what you will, I don't know if you're going to do it or not, but good luck to you. And this is going to be the last one. It says 30 miles ain't too far away, right? And it made me laugh because I probably, when it comes to advice, I'm the worst at giving that type of advice because I'm the guy that's been in a few long distance relationships. I'm talking about all the way to girls in Europe and all the way to like fucking Texas or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I've been through the shit. And so when it comes to me, especially with my line of work, I can really travel and go and work from anywhere. That distance isn't really an issue. It really comes down to how the other person feels, because that's really important. Because if you're the type of person that's like 30 miles ain't shit, another person could completely disagree. And I mean, that kind of happened to me. Like say, I don't know how long ago it was, but I was talking to this girl that she lived like say in, greater LA, but in the northern part, I would say just about 30 miles away or something. Whatever long it was, it would take me about 30 something to 40 minutes to drive there. In her opinion, that was too fucking far. But I once lived in Arizona, and I lived in West Phoenix, and this girl lived in Northern Phoenix. It's about 10 miles apart. She thought I lived too far away, 10 miles. And I'm just like, what? Like, that blew my fucking mind. So it really depends on what the other person thinks too, because in my opinion, that shit ain't nothing. Obviously, it ain't nothing because I've dealt with fucking states, and then I've dealt with fucking country separations. Not the smartest thing to do, but I also said I'm more flexible. And at the time, the people I were dating, they seemed pretty flexible as well. But then I think, like, say, after a certain amount of time passes by and the honeymoon phase is kind of over, reality kind of set in where it's like, oh, I talked a big game and I really thought that I could like deal with this shit. I thought this was going to be great. I was able to put in the work, but actually I would say I'm only about 60% in and not 100%. So that's the kind of shit that can happen. So I would say 30 miles ain't fucking shit, but I don't know what the other person you're talking to thinks. If they have fucking cold feet, or if they don't seem so sure, I probably would just say fuck it, man, because that shit, man, definitely, I feel like at this point I would say I've learned my lesson, but I really haven't. Well, that's going to do it for the Lonely Hearts Club segment. Thank you guys so much for all your questions. There was a ton of them. I couldn't get to all of them. There was a lot of them with people fucking around. Made me laugh. But I'm going to try to be like more real about this stuff and not answer all the stupid bullshit questions and try to like really put some stuff out there. And I thought this was really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you did, like I said, follow me on Instagram at somebg. And I will do this hopefully every week. And hey, maybe it'll grow into something fun. It might grow into something big, longer. I didn't do that on purpose. But yeah, y'all take care. But all right, guys, I think this has been a very lengthy podcast. I think it's definitely made up for the last episode because that one was kind of short. So thank you guys so much for dropping by. It's been pretty entertaining. I'm sure shit's going to get wilder with all this pandemic stuff. Probably going to have more weird shit to talk about. And thanks again. If you guys want to support this podcast, you can rate me on iTunes. I'd appreciate that very much so. Or you can also just drop me a couple of dollars on Patreon at patreon.com/someblackguy. $2 tier, man. You can ask your questions, talk a little bit of shit. It'll be good times. You can also just tip jar $1. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of different tiers. It's all good stuff. Thank you all again, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace, baby. Yeah.